What's up, everybody? Welcome back for a YouTube video with Glenn and Big Jack. It's been a few weeks since we've done one of these. Sorry about that, but if you follow us on Twitter at Glenn and the Gang, you will be able to see all of our picks. But we're back at it with a video this week. Just to update everybody on the records. I started out okay this year. I've been struggling a little bit since, but we're going to turn it around this week. I'm at 9-12 in one push on the season. Uh, Big Jack's been dialed in. He's 12-8-1 on weekend picks, along with 5-3 on Thursday night picks. So he's got a winning record across the board. Also, if you follow us on Twitter, we give out Jack's NBA plays, and he's on absolute fire right now. 13-3 or 12-3 on the season, something like that. And then we also throw in some picks with like Chief with his MLS picks. Every once in a while, we'll tweet out a Bohemian Sharp pick if we like it. But yeah, we like to stay active there on Twitter. All right, we're gonna roll right into the picks this week. I got 3 picks for games, and then I got 4 props I'm gonna give out. I'm gonna fire off the props at the end. We'll hop right into the first game that I'm picking this week, and it is the local game. It is the Chicago Bears. I am taking the Bears in the game plus 3.5. I think it's more of I don't believe in the Niners than I trust in the Bears. Obviously, the Bears are a team that when it comes to the heavy hitters in the league, they get bullied, but they actually show up against some of the weaker teams. Heading into the season, I thought the Niners were going to be a team that bullies teams, but they haven't been it. So I think the Bears stay in this game. I think it's a game the Bears could maybe even win. But that being said, I'll take the plus 3.5 at home versus the Niners. I think they're more than capable of playing a tight game. That being said, wouldn't be surprising if they just laid an egg too. Jack, what do you think?
Uh, Yeah, I like to play a lot, mostly because Nagy's at home. Um, I sort of like the Bears money line, to be honest, for the
Yeah.
extra juice. But yeah, take the points where you can get them. I think if they can control the ball, get the run game going, and jump out to a little bit of a lead, Kyle Shanahan is terrible against the number as a favorite, so that's a good trend for going in your favor. But yeah, I see the Bears winning today. I don't like to bet Bears games a lot because every time I am high on them, I feel like it's sort of a hometown bias. But I do like that play today. My first pick is the stuff of nightmares, so I'm just going to get it out of the way. But I'm actually going to take the Jets plus 11 at home against the Bengals. Don't really have a good rhyme or reason to it, but the Bengals just don't seem like an 11-point favorite. I know they're a completely different team. They got Joe Burrow slinging it to Jamar Chase. Their defense is a lot better than people realize as well. But I don't know. 11 points for the Bengals on the road just doesn't sound right to me. And I'll take my chances with the Jets there.
Love it. 11 points, a lot of points. We'll see, man. I do agree the Bengals are better, but 11 points is a lot of points, and I don't know if they justify that quite yet. Second game I'm on, Tampa -4 at New Orleans. New Orleans is a tough team. They play people tough. They got a good defense. Historically, they're one of the top teams in that division. That being said, New Orleans' offense this year is trash, in my opinion. They might not score a single point in this game. Tampa Bay's defense is going to be all over them. I think Tampa wins. I think it's a low-scoring game. I think Tampa probably wins like something like 20-10 or something like that. I think it's an ugly game. I think it's a game where it's classic. Brady doesn't care about his numbers. He's not going to be padding his stats. They're just going to get out of there with a nice, comfortable 10-point win on the road. Really take stranglehold on that division. Bucks -4. I love it.
Yeah, I got nothing against that pick at all. The only thing that worries me about the Saints is I do think their defense is top tier. I
Agree.
mean, you know,
100% I agree.
yeah, they're outstanding, and if they can somehow get to Brady, he's shown to have some troubles against him in the past. Last year, obviously, he had some ugly games with the Saints, but 4 points, the way the Bucks have been rolling, it's almost just like a value play in my opinion. That's a pretty good
100%.
number. Less
100%.
than a touchdown for almost any opponent they could have. My second play of the day, yeah, I'm going to go with another dog. I'm going to take the Steelers in Cleveland with the 4 points. Um, Tomlin getting points on the road. That's sort of his MO. He loves to cover. That team is a big game for them. That 3-3 in the division. I think they go in there. I'm not too high on their offense. I think Roethlisberger is certainly over the hill, and I'd be shocked if this isn't his last year. But I like that defense to get after a cobbled Mayfield. I think they know that they're just going to try to pound the rock. And I mean, Cleveland's got the best offensive line in the league for my money. So they should be able to run the ball a little bit, but I like Steelers defense to step up in a big divisional game and at least keep it within a field goal. So I'll take the 4 points.
Fun fact: you want to know how fraudulent of fans that Houston Texans and Seattle Seahawks fans are? You can get a ticket right now to those games for like $15 today. You know what the most expensive game to go to this weekend is? It's the game you just picked. It's Browns Steelers divisional battle. I love it. And you know what the second most expensive game is to get to this weekend, which makes me puke a little bit because it just tells me ownership's never going to do anything. It's the Bears game. It's the second most expensive ticket. So,
yeah, sad times.
It's crazy.
Man.
It's crazy.
We don't need to get into all that.
No, it's crazy. All right, like the pick so far. Jack's on the Jets and the Jets and the Steelers. Hell yeah. All right, last pick for me. You talked about value play. That's what I'm thinking here. Obviously, the Colts are hot, but I'm on Tennessee +3. I think they're one of the better teams in the NFC. I've liked them the last couple of years. I do think their defense at times is a little shaky, but I think +3 at Indianapolis with a chance, kind of like I talked about with the Bucs, with a chance to really take hold of that division. I like Tennessee +3 against really anybody, but I'll take them +3 against Indy this weekend.
Yeah, I understand your logic. I'm not on the Colts myself, but I would, gun to head, I would take the Colts in that one.
Fair enough.
Being completely honest about the situation, I think they do sort of have it rolling. I think it's a bigger game for the Colts considering the standings. And I do think that that number is a little odd. I think
it is.
The 3 points, it just seems like they're almost begging people to jump on the Titans. But you're going 3-0 this weekend, so I love the play. My last pick, I'm actually, for the first time this year, I'm going to turn to a primetime matchup, and I'm going to take the Vikings -2.5 tonight. Primetime Kirk. I know he has been a nothing short of a disaster in those moments, but I love the Vikings tonight. I was really tempted to throw that one out there on like Tuesday when they were plus a field goal, just because of all the rumblings around Dak. I was kind of assuming he wouldn't play, which seems to have come to fruition. So that's obviously moved quite a bit. But I still like him at -2.5. I think they roll tonight, and first time all year that Dallas doesn't cover. They're undefeated against the spread, so they got to lose eventually.
It's interesting that you talk about throwing them out +3 or +2.5, whatever they were earlier in the week, because Carmen DeFalco on that show he does with Mike North, Odd Couple, whatever it's called,
Okay.
he picked them right before they moved. He literally in the morning, I heard on the radio, he picked them like in the morning, and then they had whatever conference that said Dak was probably out. And they moved from +3 to -3. The Vikings did so.
Yeah,
interesting.
And I noticed I was kind of monitoring it on Friday a little bit, just looking at the stuff, and I noticed that it was off the board for a brief period of time.
Gotcha.
And I'm assuming that's when they got the word.
Gotcha. All right, real quick, I'm gonna throw out a couple props just for people. I like James Robinson this week. I'm gonna take his anytime touchdown -105 and his over rushing yards. I think that over rushing yards is one of the easier bets that I've ever seen. So if you're gonna pick one prop or one bet I'm laying, period, pick that one. James Robinson over 71.5 rushing yards. The other two props I like, the first one is right in line with your thinking with the game tonight. I'm taking Kirk Cousins over passing yards. It's 282.5 right now. A lot of yards, but I think he might get close to 400, to be honest. And then the other prop I'm going to take is Jalen Hurts over 254.5 passing yards. He's a guy who's kind of boom or bust when it comes to passing yards. It's either 300 plus or like 150. I like him against this Detroit secondary. They give up a lot of passing yards. I like Jalen Hurts over 254.5. All right, those are the props. Those are the picks. Jack's on the Jets, the Steelers, and the Vikings. I am on the Bears, the Bucks, and the Titans. Jack's got a great record. Hopefully, it improves to 15-8-1. Right now, he's 12-8-1. I'm trying to get back to 500 as I sit at 9-12-1 on the season. Jack, any last words for the fans before we sign off here?
Yeah, let's go. No Nagy. Justin Fields rolls today. Bears.
Bears.